I think you both, you run communities online. Like MK's got communities she runs, you've got communities you run. Do you ever feel like afraid that something you do or say on these other platforms is going to get you taken down and all of a sudden overnight you lose a community of women that probably has hundreds of women in it? Are you ever afraid of losing all of that?
I mean, that did happen to me and to my communities, and that's why I ended up having to build my own. I
Mhm.
had a Medium that I ran. This was before Substack, but back before then, I was on Medium and I had my feminist writing that I was doing on there. I had enough followers and subscribers that I had actually replaced my income with Medium. And so it was
Wow.
doing quite well. And
Wow.
then it got taken down because I interviewed a lesbian woman who said that she was having problems with the mainstream left. And
Wow.
that interview got my entire platform and income taken down overnight. And it wasn't
Damn.
even saying whether I agreed with her or whatever, just from platforming her. So that was crazy. And then I've also been, I was a very active user on a Reddit community for women that got taken down. Luckily, we had known that that was coming. So we built a new one before the
Mhm.
ban actually went through because we anticipated it would happen.
Like, how much lead time did
And,
you
that's
have?
why it had been years of fighting with these men's rights
Okay.
activists who were constantly reporting and trying to get it taken down, and it had gotten moved. This was in the era when Reddit did that thing where they moved a bunch of subs, including this was when, like, R the Donald got put under this category of subs that you had to, like, go to find. It wouldn't show up in, like, the main feed. You had to have the direct link, so it was, like, hidden,
My
and
god.
a bunch of feminist subs got included in that, like, sweep, and that's how they hid it. They hid it under, "Oh, it's only right-wing stuff." Those were just the big ones, but loads of feminist and other, like, activist communities got brushed under that sweep as well. So when that happened, we were like, "This is just the next phase," and we knew that we were gonna have to be prepared to leave. And so we built a new platform and that was over it. And Spinster, again, it was because people were getting banned. So, these days
Mhm.
I don't have to worry at all about getting my platform taken away from me because
You
I
built
own
your
my
own.
own platforms now.
You built your own. That reminds
Yes.
me when my early
Yeah.
prion disease activism days, I would try to alter the Wikipedia entry on prion disease, and there was a mod who would never let
Yeah.
me alter it because, I was
Wow.
telling the truth, and then this guy would never let my changes go through, and it was like, "Wow, I'm just gonna give up. I can't fight this guy." Yahoo groups, there's somebody from the government who doesn't like what I say in there and who sends me a letter to slap my hand about what I say in a Yahoo group. Okay, this is 21 years ago. And so it's just like at some point
Gosh.
somebody wants to fine, disagree with what I have to say. Have a completely different opinion than me, but don't
That's
erase
great.
my yeah. Like, you know what I mean? Like it's just so this has been going on since the dawn of time. It doesn't matter who's president of what country or what the predominant thinking is. Like it's gonna
Mhm.
change, right? We're gonna have a different president someday. We're gonna have a different party come to power, and then who gets to decide what speech gets to be banned, because if you agree with the current regime, then you're good with what you say online. But if you disagree, that's where the trouble comes in. And
Regarding censorship and banning when it comes to my online communities, the online community that really was the most near and dear to me started because of TikTok. And whenever, around election time, things kind of started getting a little bit crazier, when it came to censorship and stuff. And because my community has women from all over the world, okay, all over the
Mhm.
world. I mean, we have from Nigeria to literally like small villages in Jordan. Like it's really cool. It's beautiful. And that also means that you have a huge, vast, diverse amount of opinions and experiences coming in, right? And so managing all of that was such a lesson, but then turning around and seeing how every single one of them in some way was being censored, regardless of what side they were on, regardless of what was
Yeah.
happening to them, there was something stopping them from being able to speak about what was happening to them and their loved ones. Whenever I would go on to TikTok and talk about it, it was so what has been fascinating to me is as somebody who was on TikTok and who did mostly education, the way that immediately, regardless, the moment that I got a following, TikTok and everything on TikTok started to shove me towards monetization and started to shove me towards having a
Mhm.
specific set of things that I was supposed to do when I got onto TikTok. And if I didn't do those things, my videos weren't getting pushed. There was nothing like, it
Mm.
was always pushing me to be influencer. It always wanted me to start going onto monetization. And whenever I didn't hook onto those little things, it would push other things at me to monetize, like, oh, this bookstore, why don't you, it felt very intentional. And when I would speak about important things going on in the world, if it wasn't in the context of an ad or something that was kind of like pushing some kind of something, even if it was Islamic, even if it was, it had to be like something, those are the videos that always did the best, or the ones that were some kind of rage bait, which I also find is
Mm.
still fascinating, right?
Yeah.
And so I started to see this trend on there already, right? And I started to make friends with a lot of people who were in the activism space. And as somebody who came from a really small town, we didn't have a lot of technology growing up. We didn't have any kind of activism, wasn't a thing, and in college, like there was no resources. I was trying to find out ways to be learning about getting into that kind of world. So some of the friends that I had met online were pretty heavy into it. When I started chatting with them and started to offer them, they got into my community, they started to educate us about all the ways that they were being deplatformed. I know a girl
Mm.
who lost, I'm talking, I think she's lost like 8 platforms over and over and over and over and over. And she uses her lives only
We need to
for,
talk to her.
well,
Yeah.
she actually is,
Right?
she's going to be, yeah, she's,
Oh,
no, she's interested. Don't worry.
she's already in.
Yeah. It's amazing how we've all
I'm not doing
been
my job.
deplatformed. Like the people we find who've
No,
been
yeah.
deplatformed too.
Michaela, you Red, she's been,
Yeah.
Red, her
Yeah.
too. She has over and over. Yeah, and then what, I mean, MK, you laughed at me. Like, I remember showing MK a video on my TikTok a while back where I was like, all right, I have been censored so hard on here so many times. And now like they're wanting to take like TikTok away from me. Like, and I don't want to lose you guys. And what's interesting to me, maybe some people would say that I was being, maybe somebody thought I was a coward about it. I don't know. But a lot of people, when they were being censored and like threatened to have their platform removed, they just kept posting those things, right? And like kept going, and then their platform was taken down. I didn't do that
Mhm.
because I had such a community that I valued so deeply. And I was like, if I keep going and I lose all of these people, I lose my community. Like, how do I find these people again? How do I keep on helping them understand things? How do all these women who are in these situations, how do they come find clarity, if I'm gone? Like, I felt this like unbelievable guilt where it was like, if I don't keep speaking about these things versus if I lose all of my platform and access to
Right.
people, I can't help them. And so I was in
It's
this
a new
weird space. And so I
perspective.
was kind of trying to do manage.
Yeah.
It was a really weird thing to manage. And I
Well,
didn't feel that I was like,
now
you
what
know,
you can do is you can, not that it's this easy, but get your whole community on Nostr so that they know where to
and
gather the next time.
that's exactly what we're
Yeah.
doing.
Yeah,
That's what we're
it
doing.
just takes time. It takes time to take hundreds or thousands of people and say, "Hey, I know that you're on TikTok, WhatsApp, Instagram, et cetera, et cetera. But I have this alternative so that when I get deplatformed, and I've seen it myself. I've only been on TikTok again for like a couple weeks, and every once in a while I post a video, and I'm like, this is getting no views. What is it about this video that? Because other videos get hundreds of views, so one video gets zero for like hours and hours. Like, what's going on here? How did I flag something that's downvoting me, as Instagram calls it? How did I do something? Was it a word? Is what part of the spying that's happening that we know is happening? Because they're always
I
moderating
also
content.
find it really amazing how the TikTok self-censorship has seeped its way into common
Yes,
lexicon. The
yes,
the
Yes.
unaliving,
Unalive,
the grape,
pew pew, graping.
uh-huh. Like all
right.
of these words that people on TikTok have had to use when not threatening someone with violence, usually, but when
Hmm.
actually speaking about the violence of the
They can't
world
even
and
talk about it.
discussing it. Right. You can't even talk about something that happened to you
You
if
can't
it is
even
using one of
They
these
can't.
violent words.
They're
You
the
can't
phrases
even
that
defend
don't pay,
yourself
right?
in your comment section. You can't
Yeah,
even
you
defend
can't.
yourself in the comment
They give you a
section. I
strike
would have people come into my comment section and say the most vile, disgusting things about me or
and
about
get away with it.
my community or things like that. And if I responded, it would be removed. Like, and it would my response wouldn't even be crazy. Sometimes it would just be something along the lines of, like, "Your head is up your ass, go away." Or that was,
Yeah.
like, and I would say it
They can be
nicely.
abusive to
I'd be
you.
like,
You shouldn't even have to say it nicely. You should
"No,
be allowed
you
to
would
say it
find
even
little
if you say it
ways."
meanly.
You would put, like, a brain, you'd be like, "You are brain, up arrow, butt," like, and then, like, it would, like, take the comment down and give you a strike, and you'd be like, "Damn, can I get more creative on this?" Like, I just wanna let him
Right,
know his
getting
head is up
him.
his butt, like,
That's another thing
you're
too,
like,
is like,
you can't
yeah,
say
if you
anything.
get deplatformed, they don't give you recourse. Sometimes they don't tell people why
Mm-mm.
anymore. They get deplatformed.